hurry this up. Internet's gonna hate this. 2 books I gotta finish today. I'm Auntie Intellectual, your BFF auntie who keeps you up to date on news for intellectuals, artists, educators, and researchers. I'm a lifelong thinker with specialties in strategic communications, policy, and advocacy. I've done democracy research, and I'm an award-winning journalist. Join the channel for news, deep dives, interviews, and much more. We're all in this together, and we're smarter in solidarity. Here's the type of stuff you'll see on my channel. One of the most well-known examinations of anti-intellectualism is author and historian Richard Hofstadter's Pulitzer Prize-winning book, Anti-Intellectualism in American Life, published in 1963. In this book, Hofstadter defines anti-intellectualism as a resentment and suspicion of the life of the mind, and of those who are considered to represent it, and a disposition to constantly minimize the value of that life. Anti-intellectualism is a symptom of creeping authoritarianism, fascism, and autocracy. Absolutist ideas of demagoguery and power thrive in a world that casts suspicion on those who take the time to think. Intellectuals, we aren't afraid to think deeply. We research and we question brutish authority. In various points in U.S. history, anti-intellectualism has enjoyed social capital and prominence in national themes. One example of that is McCarthyism from the 1950s, which, by the way, through Roy Cohn and Roger Stone, has a direct ideological and practical connection to Donald Trump. And we see it manifest in national and global conversation today. In 2017, and again just weeks ago, President Trump has attempted to cut funding for the National Endowment of the Arts, which is a publicly funded program supporting artistic excellence. I worked for a writers group once that had an NEA grant. We used it to teach poetry and life writing to special forces guys at Walter Reed Hospital that had traumatic brain injuries. You know, real radical anti-American stuff. The degradation of public education is a cardinal sin of American life, and I, for one, believe that our country is stronger and more prepared to sustainably prosper if we don't do things like hire the lady from the wrestling pay-per-views to gut the system and shut it down. On this channel, we'll watch closely which universities, institutions, and groups of people capitulate to destructive authoritarian tactics, and we'll talk with and highlight the people and places that resist and refuse to comply. Kneecapping scientific inquiry and blacklisting words like gender and racism is meant to keep us sick, stupid, and dependent on rigged games that we can never win, and especially not without solidarity and collective action. We are stronger together. And while your BFF auntie is pro-intellectual, we'll also discuss the negatives of intellectual life and strategies to break through. I'm not gonna lie, there's some ivory tower stuff that could use a dose of perspective. If you're an intellectual, an artist, an educator, or just a fellow punk that likes to crack wise, this is the channel for you. Join me, Auntie Intellectual, and all of us on Substack, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Blue Sky at Auntie Intellectual. The next 20 videos on this channel will be a deep dive into a book called On Tyranny by a Yale professor and historian named Timothy Snyder. And before I let you go, please DM us on any social platform if you have tips, ideas, or maybe somebody that you think we should connect with to interview or highlight because of their great work. I guess it's like a soft launch.